Hey everybody, my name is Herschel from High School Top 200, and this review of Wesley College is brought to you by Fineline Barbers. What my boy Vinnie is doing from Fineline Barbers is that he's teamed up with a major barbering supplier here in New Zealand, and they're putting on an Aotearoa barber competition. This Aotearoa barber competition is going to take place in September 2017, held here in Hamilton. It's going to be a one-day event. Anyone can apply to be within the competition, and they're going to set up a Facebook page and an Instagram page that barbers can upload their work onto, so that we as a public can see what they can do throughout the year. And on the day, we can also go and get a haircut from the barbers that we favor and that we like. It's going to bring in not only just barbers, but also barber shops, vendors, and people with barber supplies and products and things like that. And so we'll be able to see sort of that whole industry together all in one place, and just see how it runs and see all the talent that we have. So look out for that, the Aotearoa Barber Competition, brought to you by Fineline Barbers, in September 2017. Now my boys from the white and black and white, these dudes. Wesley College is, and because I always have in my head my experience of Wesley College and having played them in high school, to be that team where you want to be, and to be that team that you want to beat. I was never able to do it, and when I was at school, almost did. Like one year we almost beat them. We came 2010 or something like that. We just lost to them, but it's I think it's taken their toll on them. It's taken a toll on these dudes throughout the years, and they're at that period where they're going through a change, and they just have to wait out the change and still produce the talent that they have, which is not an easy thing. Being able to change a culture of something that's been done for so long. Personally, what I think is that the rest of New Zealand is kind of caught up to Wesley College, and Wesley College just needs to take that next step to be in front of everybody else as well, and sort of get that, try and get ahead anyway. They had a pretty interesting year. Not as good as I thought they were going to have. Coach Siusu did it by himself, basically, pretty much by himself. Trying to handle all the boys on his own, as well as change the mindset of the boys to what he wanted them to be like. And so that took a change for the boys as well to say that, all right, we've got to change things up. Things haven't been working, and we've got to do what we need to do. So they had some massive prospects out of the school, especially with Sui and Tupou making the Barbarians. I thought that was good. I think it's great that Tupou is coming back for another year, and hopefully another year after that, because of his age. Because he's going to be one of the best locks that we would see if he stays that extra year, just because of how already advanced that he is right now. And he really should be a year 11. He's not actually year 12. He's an age of a year 11 kid. And so for us to see a guy like that come through the way that he's come through, I think we're seeing something special in terms of locks. And we've had some good locks over the years. We really have. And he's just going to add to that another list of them. I really liked Brent Tucker this year as well. I think he did pretty good next to him. Tane Denny, Malupo and Fui. I liked that trio that they had. They weren't the quickest, but they played very physical. They played very tight. As a unit as well, I kind of liked that concept. Malupo is probably going to be their main guy next year in terms of loose forwards. and I think he's kind of one of those players that we have to watch out for, because he's gonna do some damage, and he's another guy who's not actually a year 12 next year. He's year 13. He's actually a year 12. He's a year younger, but they have some good guys coming through. With Prince Salmani out for basically pretty much the whole year, and Tom Ale having to do it kind of by himself in the centres, that took a big toll on the team in terms of their attack and sort of going forward. That was one thing that I kind of sort of missed, because I knew that was going to be a real big point for their squad in terms of the go forward. And I knew that having Tom Prince and Issy on the wing, that dynamic of those three players in a row going from one hand to the other hand to the other hand, hopefully making space with Tom, then making space with Prince, and then letting Issy finish it off with his speed and power and things like that. Getting Issy on a one-on-one or just out on the wing with some space, I knew that was going to be their dynamic of trying to shift the ball that fast. And so they needed those players, but Prince was out for the year. Issy was on the wing, kind of with that little breakdown between, and getting it from Tom to Issy wasn't as easy as it should have been anyway. They had a guy coming up, Victor Beach, who's coming through again, and he'll be here again. There's a guy that I really like. But Sui was the one that was up front, really handling it to guys that usually would get their way. He basically took care of those kind of guys, just really big, really explosive, physical, and just didn't back down kind of attitude, and which I really liked as well. And it showed even when he got to Barbarians, and he was just doing his damage. Wesley's games were kind of confusing, and they're confusing. Confusing and frustrating. I think more, actually more frustrating, because I really want Wesley to win. It's just one of those teams that I think always have it in them. There's just always that thing that thing to the side that sort of just sways them a bit, and they end up losing games and things like that they should be really winning. Like, for example, the one against Francis Douglas, in the first game they blew them out 41-13. Then in the second game that they had against them, they had to do it the CNI competition. They lost 24-29, which is something that you just don't see. It's like something that you don't expect to happen. The St. Paul's series against St. Paul's just wasn't good. I thought the first game they probably were a bit shook, and then it wasn't until the second game, and then I thought, okay, they're not at that level that St. Paul's is at right now. And St. Paul's was in the upper end of levels of where all the other best teams in the countries were. They really showed out good against Rotorua boys. And then had a bit of a slump, ending in a 12-all draw against St. Peter's, which I don't think that St. Peter's is in their league. Well, I didn't think so. I didn't think that that should have even been a close game. And then it ends up at the end of the season that they actually fell behind St. Peter's, and that's where culture stuff comes into it, and setting a different precedent for your team of saying, this is what we are now. This is what we have to do to be where we are, where we want to go. And I think that change shows a lot in the game, especially if the boys are not willing. And I always tell boys, it's like, if your coach has a direction, if you're not in agreement with it, ask, what is it? Like, I don't get what we're trying to do, and I don't think it's right. And then once you get the answer from the coach, be like, okay, I can understand where you're coming from. I don't personally agree with it, but I'm going to do it for the betterment of the team. If everyone's going to follow that same direction, there's no use trying to bat against coaches if you don't have a good following from everybody else, and it's not even good leadership if you go against the coach. It should be a one-on-one conversation and work something out if you feel that it's that bad. But with Wesley, they're going through that change. It's getting better. Like, you can even see that it's getting better as well when you watch their games. And so there's a lot of bright lights for them, I guess. And the future, I think, is pretty good coming up. I look forward to see what Wesley's going to be like next year. Starting in the top 25 next year, I don't know. Like, I still want to see what their roster's like and how their preseason trainings go. So I'm going to hopefully get up there for preseason trainings and to see what the boys look like and things like that. But I believe in this team. I believe in Jerry as well as a coach, and he has these boys. He'll have these boys ready, and yeah. So that's my review of Wesley College. Keep singing them chants, mean as chants. I love hearing that stuff. And yeah, peace.